Hello everyone, we are finally here. It is the Judgment Day. I call it the Judgment Day because India are on yet another campaign to try and get an ICC trophy back home. This is going to be in the Caribbean and the United States. To do the previews of this entire World Cup, which is going to be a 20-team affair, I've got two wonderful guests with me. One is an Indian T20 champion way back in 2007. Probably the only title India have in the T20 format. Robin Uthappa, welcome on the show. Thanks, Robin. Thank you,
very
Machi.
happy to be
Thank
here.
you. And the other guest, I do not have to introduce him to a lot of our YouTube channel subscribers, but he is here finally in flesh and blood. It is Prasanna Agoram. PDogg, welcome on the show. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for presenting yourself live finally.
I'm very much excited to showcase my talents here in a different language as well.
Accent அப்படியே தான் இருக்கும்ல. Okay, no problem. Okay, just to take you through the format, we will be previewing teams in twos. But the first episode, to take it off, will be about the associate nations. In this Curtain Raiser episode, we'll be looking at all the associate nation teams. So I want to open the floor to Robin and PDogg. Robin, the associate nations are also going to be playing along the big boys. India, Pakistan will be along with Canada, USA, and we've also got Ireland in the group. What are your initial thoughts on these teams being with the main big boys?
I think after after the exposure that all these like the main, say the first 8-9 international teams have with the IPL in different leagues in the world, very few teams I think will be able to kind of stand up against any of these teams. A lot of these teams in the associate nations are also guys who couldn't make it to their own countries, and then they moved and migrated and wanted to play at the highest level, so they moved to another country, and their passion for the game is taking them to other countries, and they're representing those countries right now and playing. So I don't think they'll be up to scratch. I think they have to keep playing these nations pretty consistently. Upon that, I feel that they'll get to a place where they'll feel like they'll match up. That exposure to high quality cricket is very less. They're playing amongst themselves most of the time. So when they go up against the big boys, I think it'll take a little while to catch up. They have to play a lot of cricket with them or against them, and only then they'll feel like okay, they'll measure up to them after a certain point.
You're actually right. I was going through a lot of these games that these teams play, and most of them playing are people who are of the Asian origin. And some of them are from, maybe the odd person is from Australia, England, or New Zealand or something. But largely none of the locals have taken up to the sport. We'll pass it on to PDogg. PDogg, your initial reactions on these teams playing with the big boys in the World Cup. Do you think it's...
The right thing he said, it's all about exposure. To be very honest with you, if you see the amount of players who are getting involved in other global leagues and getting exposure, rubbing shoulders with big players like that, make a difference. But Netherlands have been proving it wrong all the time when they take on a team like South Africa, be it T20 World Cup or the 50 overs World Cup. If anyone is going to write these association nations off, it's going to be a big problem. And when you see, if you ask me, my initial thoughts are definitely going to be Pakistan and Ireland is going to be the game.
No, because you suggested Netherlands and you've straight away taken a dig at Robin's view. I will begin with Netherlands, because Netherlands in the 50 over World Cup in India were pretty good. They were a handful. We're talking about Bas de Leede, Max O'Dowd, and they had a decent World Cup last time around as well. Who are the players you're looking forward to in the Netherlands side?
Look, with Netherlands, you've got some quality players who can really win a game of cricket. The second thing is, I want to iterate on certain things where this is not going to be something people have been getting out of an IPL fever. If you expect 220 plus scores in West Indies, you're going to get it wrong. Last year, I've been part of the Caribbean Premier League. You're not going to get the 200 plus on a consistent basis. When you see that, you really put or give a chance to teams like Ireland or Netherlands to really cause an upset. You have a guy like Bas de Leede, who's a double duty player, who can win a match with a bat.
What exactly is double duty?
He can win a game of cricket with a bat and ball.
You mean he's an all-rounder?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Robin,
okay. So someone like him who can bowl in both the phases of the game, who can come there and create a dent with the bat. And then you've got a guy like Aryan Dutt. You can see a tradition, you being an off-spinner.
Bro, how are you saying Aryan Dutt will create an impact against some of the top players in the world? As in, with all due respect, Aryan, but I don't think one or two players is going to win you World Cup games. And it might be one game in the entire World Cup. But I don't think they will upset. And you would call it an upset. You wouldn't call it, they played better cricket than a top 10 T20 playing nations.
See, they've got quality players. They've got close to 7 or 8 players who can really come there and turn it on. You can see a guy like Teja Nethermanaru who can really bat well. You can see that captain Scott Edwards who's taking the responsibility of doing well. Then you've got a guy like Max Wodo, unfortunately, who didn't come well in the 50 overs World Cup. But it's a very, very good player. It's been extremely consistent for Netherlands. And then you've got a guy like Paul Meekren, that when you see that in that particular wickets like that, it's going to be two paced. When he bowls in the 8th over, 10th over, the death overs, it's going to be, you never know. So if you ask me, these two teams have definitely got something special in them to create an upset. I'm not saying it is
When you
definitely...
say two teams, you're talking about Netherlands and Ireland.
Yeah.
Okay, Netherlands and Ireland, you think can cause upsets?
Can toss up.
Okay, let's just take
Actually, in all fairness, I think Ireland can cause upsets because I think a lot of their players, they play cricket everywhere in the world. So a lot of their players, like Tector plays cricket in... Harry Tector plays different leagues in the world. Paul Sterling plays a lot of leagues in the world.
Lorcan Tucker is someone
Lorcan Tucker is a very impressive player who plays a lot of, who also plays a lot of other leagues in the world. So these guys rub shoulders with these internationals on a consistent basis. So they are not intimidated. That intimidation factor is not there. The fact that it's going to be, oh, we're going to play this guy, these guys are in a World Cup. That whole, oh, I'm going to play against one of my heroes is not there. You know, so those factors are not there because they are constantly rubbing shoulders. But a lot of the other sides, that's going to be very much a factor when they're playing.
When you talk about some of the other sides, I think it's worth dwelling upon them a little. We know something about Netherlands. We know something about Ireland. We know a little bit about teams like Namibia. Namibia has played a World Cup in the past, but a lot of the other teams, like let's say Uganda, Papua New Guinea, Canada, USA are getting into this World Cup for probably the second time, if I'm not wrong. But USA have been pretty impressive. They just beaten Bangladesh as we're speaking in a series 2-1. Do they arrive into this tournament with any sort of hope, or can we rank them alongside maybe Ireland and Netherlands as we get into this World Cup?
I can be very honest with you. It will be too much of ask for teams like USA, Namibia, Uganda, and Papua New Guinea to really cause an upset. If they can come there and compete and play good cricket, and really put the pressure on the opponents to take it until the end. Say, not going to be the one-sided contest. It's going to be a game one for them, rather than thinking for too much. Yes, US, if you see, they've got a quality player like Stephen Taylor to open the batting. They've got Corey Anderson. What an experience.
Stephen Taylor plays for MI New York, if I'm not wrong. He's that left-handed opening batsman.
He also plays for CPL as well.
Okay.
CPL as well. And then I'm sure that you might remember this guy, Harmeet Singh.
Definitely
Harmeet as well.
Yeah, Harmeet is
Have you played alongside Harmeet Singh?
No, I played with him. We were in Air India together.
Yeah, even so was Saurabh Netrawalkar, right?
Yeah,
he played with you guys.
Netrawalkar was also. He was also like the former captain of the USA side. Now I think Patel is the captain of the USA.
Monarch Patel, the wicketkeeper batsman.
Yeah, Monarch Patel. He also belongs to MI New York side. So
yeah.
So they've got some players where they can really challenge the opposition, but I don't really know, because now people are having very high expectations after they beat Bangladesh quite convincingly and impressively to win a series. Let me be very honest with you. You beat a test playing nation with very less experience in a convincing manner, closing out the series 2-0 with a game to play. Then the expectations are going to be high, particularly they're going to be the host nation. But I think it's a bit too much of ask for them to expect them to create an upset. Probably, I said, I don't know.
Right. Let's just dwell upon Ireland a little bit. We spoke about Netherlands. We spoke about Bas Deledy, Max O'Dowd. You even mentioned Paul Van Meeken. I thought he was close to an IPL contract the last time.
Yeah.
Robs, you said Ireland can potentially cause an upset. Ireland is sitting on the group of India, Pakistan, Canada, and USA. So where is the upset coming from?
Pakistan.
Okay. you are involved in this.
I was waiting to let the answer even we asked the question.
Okay, you are involved in the World Cup in 2007. Ireland have very happy memories against Pakistan,
correct,
especially in the Caribbean islands. This World Cup is going to be in the United States and Caribbean islands. Let's look into Ireland a little bit. Who are the players that can potentially make this upset a possibility?
For me, I think it's definitely someone like the opening batters, Balbirnie and Sterling. They're high quality players. I think Sterling is someone who's quite underrated. Goes around the world playing league cricket and goes about his business in a very stellar fashion. I think he plays cricket very, very well. Just his approach to cricket is very good. Lorcan Tucker is also a solid bat, wicketkeeper. Has consistently performed well. If you look at the batting order, I think it looks quite strong in itself. And their bowling attack is also pretty good. Josh Little leads the attack, who's been very impressive, not just for Ireland, but even when he's come here to India to play the IPL, play leagues around the world. He's a quick customer, unassuming. He seems like he's not very quick, but he's actually very quick. Bowls a very heavy ball. I really like him. Curtis Camper is someone who's also done really well for them. So for me, Mark Adair is also someone who's done well for them.
The beauty about Ireland side is they bat all the way to number 11.
Correct.
And the last time I watched Ireland play, I mean, they played India in a series, and then I've also played. They played a series in West Indies, and they don't get as much as cricket as this they must get.
Yeah.
But I noticed something with them, which is George Dockrell. Right? He used to be the left-arm spinner who was very impressive. He played the 2011 World Cup in India, and he's gone on to become one of the best finishers in T20 cricket. Okay. I don't want to go into details of who he competes with, but he's definitely earned a reputation for himself as a finisher. PDogg, I want to put this question to you: what exactly would be the form Ireland will be carrying into this World Cup? Do they have a chance?
If you see that they've beaten Pakistan off late in the T20 series, beating a team like Pakistan definitely is going to be a positive sign for them. And then Robin beautifully summed it up. If you see the batting lineup of Ball Burney, is a class act. Paul Stirling can hurt you badly. Logan Tucker is a technically sound player, needed number 3, followed by Harry Tector. He's a beautiful player. Then Dockrell is hitting some big sixes at number 5. Don't forget there's a guy called Delaney, who's a leg spinning all-rounder. He's very, very good. Followed by Curtis Camper. He can hurt you big with a bat. I can bowl 4 overs. Mark Adair can bat, and then followed by Josh Little, like Robin mentioned. There is a bowler called Barry McCarthy. Very, very good at picking up
wickets. He was very good in the Ireland series against India. He was
deliveries.
He was an all-rounder. He's an all-rounder, right? Yeah.
Then pretty much everyone's all-rounders in this
The other guy is Craig Young. If you see that in West Indies, what you need to do is a strong top 4, because a lot of wickets fall in the first 5 or 6 overs. That base is covered, and they bat deep. And then you need guys who can bowl fuller lengths upward to pick up wickets. Josh Little does that. He swings the ball either ways, and it's going to be supported by Mark Adair. The only problem what they will have is need to have 2 quality spinners in the middle overs. Yes, they can make it up with Delaney, who's a kind of a 50-50 bowler. The issue is they don't have another spinner. They've got a guy called Benjamin White, but they have to play him ahead of one of the fast bowlers. I don't know whether they will do it. The issue is only going to be how are we going to come back in the middle overs with the ball attacking the opposition. Pakistan's strength is going to be the top 3 bowlers, which can trouble any batsman in the world. That's going to be Mohammad Amir, Shaheen Shah.
We'll get to Pakistan when we get to that episode.
No, what I'm saying is the upset what I'm expecting. I'm with Robin, where this team has got a chance to upset Pakistan. If they can look after the first 6 overs from the steam of these 3 guys, Nazim Shah, Shaheen Shah Afridi, and Mohammad Amir, they've got a chance. You're going to have an upset.
Right, Robin, I'm just going to throw this back to you. You just said, when I spoke about Ireland, they are in the group with India and Pakistan, you said, no doubt, Pakistan. The last time Ireland beat and upset a team in a T20 World Cup, that team went on to win the World Cup. England lost to Ireland in that particular World Cup, and they went on to win the World Cup. So are you suggesting anything like that, or is it just
No. It's just that Pakistan have been one of those teams where in a tournament, especially in an ICC tournament, they've always been upset by somebody. And there's one of those games. See, their fielding has been particularly iffy at all times. We've seen it in the latest Asia Cup that even happened. I think across time. In fact, Pakistan's fielding has been very shady in that sense. So I think one of those games will happen where
they'll not turn up.
Yeah, they won't turn up, and then that will be the game. I feel like a team like Ireland can certainly upset them.
In fact, when we spoke about Ireland, Prasanna gave us the entire 11. So I don't think they have any doubts, because they'll watch this episode, go straight away, put them on the park, probably look for a spinner. They do not have an impact player rule, unfortunately, in the World Cup. Otherwise, they can use a spinner in between. We will move on to the next team, Namibia. Look, I don't know which part of Namibia, how are they going to turn up? Is always going to be a questionable thing. But the one player that's always done well for them is David Wiese. Yeah. Right? He played in the qualifiers last year, was probably their MVP in that tournament. How do you see Namibia faring? Do they have a chance? They are locked in with, they're locked in with Australia, England, Oman and Scotland.
Maybe they've got a chance to beat Oman, and probably even to fancy the chances to beat Scotland. But I don't see them really, even putting up a fight against teams like England and Australia, who look really, really strong and balanced. This team has got guys who can bat until number 9. A guy like JJ Smith, who can bat coming down the order, bowling, left arm fast bowling, and also Ian Freiling. I'm sure that you know him. Yeah, a dangerous player who also bats down the order and bowls well. And they got a guy like Gerald Erasmus, He's going to bowl a few overs of off spin, and he's going to really.
But now he bowls mystery spin, no?
Yeah, both.
So
Yeah,
basically,
and all these
he
things.
was a medium pacer who became an off spinner.
So the last World Cup when we played in Dubai, I think Namibia played in Australia as well in the qualifiers. He came up. These guys come to the Indian team dressing room. They want to share a drink. They want to find out what's happening. A lot of these players are very inquisitive, and he was asking me, how do you bowl the carom ball? But I don't think you can just bowl off spin. I want to learn this. How do you show me the grip and all that? Very inquisitive. At the same time, very smart.
Yeah, he's quite a sharp tool, because for me, I played with him in the T10. He was actually the captain of one of our T10 teams that I played for, and then he was working a lot with Carl Crow, who basically is Sunil Narayan's bowling coach. And they were working a lot on the carom ball, the flicker, and a lot of those other things. So he's a pretty decent bat as well. Down the order, he can be very effective. But I would argue, if you are saying that Netherlands with Netherlands 3 players, Aryan Dutt, Max O'Dowd, and Paul Meekeren and Basta Lide, you're saying they can upset teams.
Do they have Colin Ackerman by any chance? Do they have Colin Ackerman? Netherlands. Okay, that makes it one more. He's got decent repute. Plays for Leicester, does really well in T20. But I think I agree with Robin. Namibia
but if you feel that Netherlands with 3-4 players, 5 players can upset people, why do you feel like Namibia cannot?
It's a good question, actually. Netherlands actually showed the world that they can cause upsets by defeating South Africa twice in 2 formats. That is in T20 in Australia and another one in India. 2 completely different conditions. It's a workhorse kind of a team.
They knocked South Africa out of the World Cup.
So if you see a team like Namibia, if you see, I don't have that power what they've got in the batting lineup, even though they bat deep. I would rather put Netherlands batting slightly ahead of these guys. So that is the only reason. And then when you have that history of beating South Africa, your confidence level will be high. And then the 2 other teams in the group, if you see, I'm not taking them lightly or writing them off. You always fancy a chance against a team like Sri Lanka and Bangladesh rather than seeing a teams like England and Australia. Cricket, anything can happen. But if we take these things into consideration, I feel Netherlands got more chances of creating an upset than Namibia. But I wanted to be proven wrong.
Right, okay. We spoke a little bit about USA. Now it's about time we spoke about their neighbors, Canada. Once upon a time, Balaji Rao from Tamil Nadu went and played for Canada. Had a few sledgehammers with some of the Indian players. And they had John Davison, who came in, who burst on the scene and made a fantastic 100, Robin, if you may remember. What do Canada have in store, PDogg? Do they have anything? Do they have a chance? Or they're going to be...
They've got a few good players as well. If you see, the captain leads from the front, Saad bin Zafar. He's a left-handed batsman. You expect him to score 30 runs, but not at a brisk pace. But he knows how to score runs with his experience. And you can see his action, the quick, calm, round-arm action. He's expected to bowl his 4 overs for 28 runs. If we ask him, he's going to be a wicket-taking bowler, I beg to differ. And there is an opener called Aaron Johnson. You would just want to see him bat all the time. He looks beautiful, actually. If you take these 2 out of it, yes, they've got some players there. But if you see, can these team create a dent? I'm being very honest in my opinion. I don't think so.
Because India and Pakistan are there in the group. Robin, are you going to put your money and say, okay, Canada is going to throw up upset again?
No. Canada, they'll be good hosts. I think they'll be very good hosts.
Right. They also have they also have a few players who can bring about some sort of stability into that team because of the sheer amount of cricket they play in that part of the world. Will that be a factor at all, or what do you expect from the conditions in America? Because there is going to be a makeshift stadium. It's not going to be.
That'll be an interesting conversation. And what do you think the conditions will be like? Because these are drop-in pitches in America, and you've worked at the MLC as well, so you have an fair idea of what generally happens with these drop-in pitches. Because a lot of the viewers won't know what these drop-in pitches or how they will actually play.
Actually, twice in my experience when I was part of the South African team, when we went to Australia, they said that it was a drop-in pitches, particularly when we played in Perth. So I've digged all of the stats and all these things normally, which I present in the strategy meeting, and all of a sudden the head coach comes and tells me, PDogg, it's going to be a drop-in pitch. Then you try and see that it looks a little bit of a green, looks hard, it looks like a synthetic turf. And the next day we play a game, everything was here, and that strong Australian team gets bowled out for 160, and we struggle to chase it, losing 6 wickets. Then again in Brisbane, that Gold Coast Stadium, when we played against Australia, again they said it is going to be a drop-in pitch. The bounce is going to be very steep and high. all of a sudden you're going to see a completely different conditions, what we're going to witness in Caribbean than in drop-in pitches. So you can never predict how it is going to be. If you ask me, with my little experience of drop-in pitches, it's going to have bounce, it's going to have some seam movement early on. It's not going to be easy run scoring.
Are they using drop-in pitches in the Caribbean also?
Not really. I think Caribbean have
They have their own pitches.
they have their own pitches.
Yes.
Drop-in pitches is not a culture yet in the Caribbean. But I think the stadium in which India is playing against Pakistan
New York.
in New York is the one place where they're going to have drop-in pitches, and it's going to be very interesting because it's not like a regular cricket ground. I think teams will come in with a lot of variables, and it's about time we moved on to the next two teams, which is Nepal and Oman. Nepal and Oman. Nepal played the Asia Cup. Nepal have been around. Nepal is a cricket crazy country.
Yeah, they are.
The amount of craze they have is unbelievable. The amount of people that tweet to you and they mention you on tweet are from Nepal, and you find it, oh my God, okay, there is a massive interest in this part of the world. It's huge. And then you've got Oman. Oman has been around. Zishan Maqsood is one name that comes to my mind all the time. Where do these teams start off? Again, I just feel it's a little unfair for them to be thrown in with the big boys. So,
and that's the whole thing. No? A huge intimidation factor is going to be there. It's a novelty for them to play against these top sides, so they'll be in awe of the heroes that they've seen, and they're playing against their heroes. So they'll be so awestruck by that whole encounter that the focus, I don't think, will be so much on the game, because very few cricketers, I think, and it's when you play with these cricketers over and over again when that novelty wears off and you're like, okay, I'm competing with these guys and I want to prove a point. And you see Nepal, the players from Nepal actually are like that, especially the captain Rohit Padwal. I think he's someone who thinks about, even when they played in the Asia Cup here in Sri Lanka, they were like, okay, how can we do something special against India? And they came in with that attitude, and they played also like that. Even when you're viewing the game from outside, you're like, these guys want to prove something. And even their batting, there was some teeth in the batting. They were actually
played some fantastic shots.
Yeah, they did. Especially initially, in the openers played really, really well. Even their fast bowlers had a little bit of spunk about them. So I feel like they'll be one of the better performing associate nations in this World Cup.
PDogg, your thoughts on Nepal?
Nepal is another team. If you see that, if you take 15, 20 years back when Bangladesh was just getting into the test fold and ODI fold, the kind of passion what the people showed. Now recently, they played against the West Indies here. I'm sure that many people would have followed it. You can see the performances, what they put up, the way they really competed against them, winning a game or two. That shows that what kind of, the passion what they've got. And it's going to be, a guy like Rohit Padwal. I don't know whether you saw him, that bats at number 3, is another conventional player. If you see the amount of all-rounders what this team has got, is again, if you see a guy like Kushal Malla, who's a left-handed batsman, and he bowls left-arm orthodox, and then a guy like Sompa Kami. If he looks like he comes, runs in slowly and bowls, he gets that seam movement. There's always sometimes you're going to drive early and give you a wicket if he can bat as well. And the guy like KC Karan, who's also an all-rounder, who can bowl and bat. And then the guy, Dipendra Singh, he can hit a long balls, very, very long way. When you see that, yes, again, this team, when you see, it's going to be entertaining. They're going to compete, but whether they got the legs to pass through teams like that, I'll say it's going to be a difficult task. But what all you can gain from here to show people that, okay, I belong into this stage. I'm good enough to come back.
What exactly are they showing? What are the opportunities? Is something we'll close this episode with. But before that, we've got to look at another team which has been quite interesting. Have been there in the ICC events for a while now, which is Scotland. I've got some serious players, and their opener George Munsey is someone I always believed could have gotten a gig in leagues and probably even in the IPL. I mean, you got so many players coming in and playing the IPL and also trying to upgrade themselves. George Munsey's got something about him, Robin.
Yeah, he's a solid player. We played together the ILT20.
Okay.
He is a solid player. Plays the reverse sweep really well and loves playing the switch hit like as often as possible. Spinner comes on, that's the first shot he'll go to. But someone who likes to score runs, bats long. He's got a great solid.
Does he have the power to?
A lot of power. He's a big guy. So that he will take on the fast bowlers. He'll take on the spinners, and someone who puts a price on his wicket as well. Doesn't give his wicket away easily. So I think he is someone who you can actually watch out for in this World Cup.
Yeah. Prasanna, your thoughts on?
He's right actually. The power what he generates on the switch hits. Oh, it goes a long way. And one more guy I have to mention is the fast bowler, Chris Soul. When we were in the strategy meeting, I told Saeem Ayub that this guy can bowl 145. We looked at the videos and said, you really, really tell that this guy is going to bowl 145. The next day when we faced him in St. Lucia, he came and said, bye, He is quick. You
Who's
can
this by?
Saim Ayub.
Oh, Saim
So I
Ayub.
told him that just be careful, just stay on the back foot. He's going
He
to
is
bowl
the
some.
guy.
He is the buy. That is what I suddenly said. Buy. Who's this buy?
When he came back, he came and said, "Wow, he's quick." The guy is someone where you feel that he has to just develop it, slower deliveries. If he can do that, he's got the good quality to get into IPL. And then you've got a guy like Michael Lisk. He's got a very unorthodox auction as an off spinner. He's coming at the 8th and 9th over, and then come at number 8. He can remove the damage with the bat. And then there's a guy called Mark Watt.
Mark Watt, the guy with the paper, right? So interesting story, Robin. Interesting story. He came. We were having a drink post game against Scotland in Dubai, and he came up to me and said, "What do you do? How do you develop your bowling?" I said, I change my action. I try a lot of things. So then he says, "Don't you forget things?" No, I actually keep writing down things. Once I write, I have got a great memory. When I write, it goes into my memory like a photograph, right? So I write and I keep everything. If I have doubts, I go back to those diaries.
Correct.
I have about 5, 6, at least 10 diaries right now. And the next World Cup, when he was in Australia, right? He carried a piece of paper in his hand. He put it in his pocket. He had done his research and written it down. And the moment he got a wicket, he looked at it and he started ticking off like that. I saw him the next time and asked him, "What was it?" I said, "You told me you do your research and write it down." So I wrote it, but I couldn't remember. So I thought I'll carry this sheet in. So funny about with Mark Watt. Yeah, you carry on.
And even
He cannot allow me to say a story. He's just waiting to
I'm
continue.
sure I'm going to give you one information which you'll agree. He has bowled the longest distance ball in international cricket, where he bowled it close to 28 yards to the batsman.
Wow.
He was standing there from his run-up and he delivered it from there.
Behind the umpire.
Umpire didn't even knew what was happening from there.
But that's actually a no ball. He just came in front of the umpire. You can't bowl from behind the umpire now. They can call it a no ball. It's not allowed. I think he bowled a long, it was quite a distance. It was to a left-hander, if I'm not wrong.
And then he is someone where I can tell you in the associate nations, when it comes to spinner bowling in the death overs from 16 to 20, he's cost the least economical. He comes wide of the crease and fires the Yorkers in the feet. And he has been extremely effective. And there is one more player I have to really.
That is all against associate nations, bro.
No, he follows Associate Nations cricket a lot. So
And the one more guy I have to tell is Richie Berrington. Is the guy who was really good when you see it. He can also contribute to the ball. So these teams, when you see that there again, when you see the kind of teams that they've been come up with, particularly the heavyweights in international cricket, if you say that whether they've got legs to beat them, I will say I don't know. But they are good enough to beat the other sides on the team. They really compete. It's a good team.
I would say the countries like Scotland, Ireland, Netherlands, all will, and maybe Nepal to a certain extent, will fare well. Will be the associate nations that fare slightly better than the other associate nations, simply because they play a lot of cricket. Nepal actively tries to play as much cricket with a lot of these associate nations, even non-associate nations, main countries as well. But Netherlands, Scotland and Ireland play a lot of cricket within that UK ecosystem. So that kind of keeps their cricket up to scratch. And they have that exposure to high quality.
They get to play some club cricket in England as well. Most of them do. Michael Least does that, I know for a fact. I met him there as well. Two teams, Robin, that we need to just look at, because a lot of these teams will come in and there will be fantasy picks in some of these teams. So we're looking at PNG and Uganda, right? I found something very interesting with Uganda. I found a lot of Indian names, but the name that really stuck with me was Alpesh Ramjani. Okay. I'm amongst our groups and all, I call him Alpesh Rajamani. Okay? Rajamani is a friend. So Alpesh Rajamani is almost a banker. He was, I think he was one of the 4 contenders for ICC T20 Cricketer of the Year. That's a massive recognition. Do we know anything about him at all, PDogg? What are your thoughts?
These two guys I want to really mention. The one thing what you said is Alpesh Ramjani, where he's a steady left-arm spinner and he can also bat. The other guy is going to be Dinesh Nakarani. He's also another guy where he's also a left-hander, bowls a bit of a left-arm medium fast. These two exciting players. I don't see anyone else really. I won't say that, I won't mention it, but these two guys will be the core for them, really to come there and compete with the other teams.
Names are going lesser and lesser. With PNG, we're going to have Charles Samini and Asad Wala. We've had PNG play the World Cup before, so that's the name that strikes with me. But having assessed all these teams, Robin, we just need to get to a bit of a conclusion here. What exactly is the plan to have so many teams play the the World Cup? What could be the idea in the heads of people who are running it for the ICC? What could be the plan? There isn't a plan, because the last time when these guys, Associate Nation cricketers came over, they were like, is there an opportunity that we could get one Associate Nation slot in an IPL? You know? I mean, it needs to start somewhere, right? It needs to start because there must be a progression group for them, because these are all cricketers that end up working full-time as employees in a corporate company or something, and they play cricket part-time. They are going to come up against full-time cricketers, which is extremely unfair on all of them.
Correct. That's exactly my point, right? I think it's very unfair to group them in like this. But I think the thought process from ICC's point of view is perhaps make them feel a part of the ecosystem and introduce cricket to lesser cricket playing nations. I think one of the nicer ways to do it would be to introduce the lesser playing nations or the associate nations to T10 cricket. And make them play that, and then slowly, as they get better, introduce them to the slightly more longer formats and T20, and then maybe 50 overs if 50 overs last, and then eventually Test cricket, the pinnacle of cricket. But if they can even get there, but I feel introducing them in T20 World Cups like this, once the T20 World Cups also are like happening every other year right now. I think you should go back to that once in 2 year format or once in 3 year format, because I think now it's becoming too often. Every year we're having ICC tournaments. It's taking away from the charm of an ICC tournament. And I feel this is actually a little unfair to the lesser playing nations like PNG and Uganda and all that. They'll be so out of depth when they play test playing nations, and it'll be unfair to them. It'll be, from a viewing perspective also, it won't be great viewing. You'll see records breaking. It's like having Plate and Elite, bro, in Ranji Trophy, right? You need to create that system where Plate is separated from Elite, and then the top 2 teams get to play with the bigger side. So then they feel like, okay, they've graduated to that, and they can actually play with them on a consistent basis. And I think that used to be there. I think that's how Bangladesh also came into the fray, and that was a greater system. Now Bangladesh is a part of that elite system.
The one thing I would like to reiterate and bring back is something that I've always maintained. I do know there are T20 cricket specialists now. They choose to stay away from the red ball game. But for nations which are coming up, if you just suggested Bangladesh's name, the first time Bangladesh burst onto the scene was through Test cricket. I still remember Aminul Islam making that 100 against India. And if you have a way to which and means to play Test cricket and play first class cricket, that is the way you're going to keep churning out these cricketers, right? And or is it fair to say that maybe this is the future and teams will adapt and start producing T20 cricketers away from it?
One of the ways you can introduce them to Test cricket is perhaps wherever they are, whichever country is closest to them, they can probably go and play first class cricket as a nation in that country, and then play that for 4 or 5 years. Then as you play that, the quality will improve. Like what India is doing right now, for example, in our domestic circuit, we've got our, say, the newer states playing with
the
main sides, right? And then that's in white ball cricket. But in red ball cricket, they play amongst each other, and then the top 2 kind of join in, and then that they cycle in and out. If they stay within that, if they maintain themselves above the last position, then they stay. Otherwise, they go down again. And I think that same exercise, if they can continue to have in wherever their closest test playing nation is, then I think that's a way they can improve their own cricket and get better with red ball cricket, and then become probably a test playing nation if they qualify.
It used to be the case. I mean, we used to have Sri Lankan A sides traveling to Tamil Nadu to play the MJ Gopalan before.
Correct.
We used to have New Zealand A sides come over, so that is probably a possibility. We'll just ask PDogg his final thoughts before we wrap up this.
See, he highlighted the right thing, but what I will do is to have a 2-tier system. So he speaks about
even for T20 cricket.
So what I'm saying is, someone like Oman, Uganda, and all these things, I'll have a 2-tier system like India A, New Zealand A, South Africa A, West Indies A. They are going to play against each other, a kind of a league in all 3 formats of the game throughout the year. That's the first tier is going to be the international series. Second is going to be the A sides, which are going to play against this potential Oman, Uganda, Papua New Guinea, or whatever it is, the A sides, the second thing straight. Then you get enough exposure playing with them. Then you come back here. We are not going to sit here and say that this team doesn't have the legs to beat England or Australia. It's all about the exposure. It's not about the skill. You try and play 4th division cricket in a particular league, and all of a sudden you go on the 1st division, you're definitely not going to be found wanting. But the issue is the exposure and the experience. So if I'm ICC, I'm going to have a 2-tier system. The 8 teams from the top 8 test playing nations will play all 3 formats throughout the year, scheduled home and away for these associate nations to come up.
ICC is currently talking about an ICC Test Cricket Fund. I don't know there will be a fund to play all these A series. They'll have to create a fund. Remember that. They'll have to bring all the A sides. But I love the idea. Once upon a time, Australia was a gun side. They played a tri-series with Australia A, and the third side could have been Zimbabwe, if I'm not wrong. They had a tri-series with the third international side. So maybe there is a possibility to do that. We'll wait and watch whether ICC does that. But that brings us to the end of the first episode of Associate Nations on Judgment Day.